Hi everyone, so Team Casey competition head coach Casey Samsel here with another competition coach on the team, brand spanking new, brand spanking awesome, Tyler McPeak. So we would like to talk to everyone today about just reasons why your prep may have failed, and then things that you can do to kind of not allow that stuff to happen, or to brace yourself for things that happen during your prep to make sure that you're not going to destroy your prep. Because preps usually only last maybe like 12 to 16 weeks, so you have a limited amount of time to get ready for a show. So we don't want anything, no hiccups in the road, or if you have hiccups in the road, we want you to know that you can bounce back from them. So we're just going to run down a list of things that we agree on that we think that can inhibit you from reaching your goals. Reason number one, you hired someone that isn't reputable to work with. So ideally, you at least want to find somebody that knows anything about training and diet, training and nutrition. So if they don't have bare minimum a certified personal training certification, what are you doing? Do not hire them to teach you how to train, let alone diet. Agreed? Is that like so crazy that there's people out there that like don't even have they're not even CBTs and they're training people?
And I think like this day and age too, especially with social media, it's such a saturated market. So definitely do your research and like she said, hire somebody that's reputable, because there's a lot of people out there that really don't care about their clients and they just want your money. So just make sure to be careful and to do your research.
Okay. Oh, this is a really good one. Blame others for your lack of progress. So you don't want to make this about anything but yourself. Competing is a very selfish thing. It's a very selfish sport. You have to be 100% in. So blaming others for your lack of progress, like saying, okay, oh, my gym's closed, I can't go that day. Okay, you can make it work. You could go outside and get a workout in. Or, okay, the grocery store closes early today for the holiday. Okay, but then you've got to make sure that you get to that grocery store and you get all your things that you need for prep. Just simple things like that. Just, no excuse kind of policy. It's a very selfish sport, so you've got to make sure you're covering your own ass at all times.
Yeah, and that just goes to, it's just like basically no excuses. I mean, you can always get it done. You can always find a way to get it done. And you always want to be prepared, just like she was saying, if the grocery store's closed or if the gym's closed or whatever like that, you need to be prepared, and you need to understand and realize that life is going to happen, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah, well, no, life is going to happen inside prep or outside of prep. It happens either way. So, even if you're not on prep, like, life is going to come at you. You still got to pick yourself up and make stuff happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah, it's definitely right along the lines of.
It's the bottom line, no excuses.
Yeah, for real. So here's a big one. We actually really want to touch on this. You don't communicate well with your coach. That is the biggest thing, and that is really honestly one thing that can literally set your prep on fire, or it can drown it. So you've got to communicate well with your coach, energy-wise, even bathroom habits, anything. If you're feeling dehydrated, anything along the lines of something being different, you've got to trust your gut, communicate with your coach. Make sure that you're getting, all angles covered. If you're not feeling good in the gym, or you're just feeling really fatigued, there's always a solution to something, and or an answer to something. So communication is super, super key to your success.
Yeah, just to follow up on that, I mean, I've made the mistake in the past myself from not communicating with coaches that I've worked with myself. So definitely communicate, because we need to know every little detail, just like she was saying. Just every little detail is going to matter at that point.
Because every single person is different, so we don't treat everyone the same, and every situation is going to have something. Things are going to come up, and we're going to be able to help you find a solution to it if you let us know what it is. Okay, here's another really good one. Didn't listen to their instruction, advice, and recommendations. Even like rest, cardio, food, supplements, and everything. All that stuff are all variables. So if we're telling you to eat a certain amount of food every single day, do a certain amount of work every single day, train with a certain amount of reps and sets, every single day, repeats whenever they are, certain supplements, everything, they are there for a reason. They are there to get you to your goals. That's it. That's the game that's set and it's planned. But if you don't follow that, if you do more cardio thinking it's going to get you to your goal faster, that's not the idea. A good example is, like, say, you're under eating your meals, you're not eating all your meals, and then you're doing more cardio, you risk burning muscle, you risk weakening your immune system, you risk getting sick, obviously, because you're just doing a lot of negative things to your body. So in preparation, you need to make sure that you're following all the orders that are given to you and all the recommendations that are given to you. So that way when you arrive to the stage, you're nice and tight, full muscled, healthy, feeling good, not overworked, and everything goes as planned. I know I missed some stuff.
Yeah, well, the only thing that I can think of to follow that up with is just if you're doing your own thing and you're making your own choices, and then you're not seeing the progress that you want, and then you come and you have your check-ins and everything, and we think that you're following everything to a T. So then that's when we get scattered and have to make decisions and everything, but our decisions might not align up with what you've been doing because we're clueless as to what you've been doing. So just definitely just follow everything to a T, and
then we can make our tweaks.
Exactly, yeah, and then the tweaks should work, rather than if you're doing your own thing, the tweaks that we make might not work because you've been doing something else differently.
Another thing, so this is definitely a mind over matter thing, a mind game. Competing is solely, like I said, it's selfish. It's yourself, has nothing to do with anyone else. Besides your support system, they can support you, but that has, your success has nothing to do with them. At the end of the day, you have to put in the work. You have to make sure that you're set and ready to do things. So if you don't hold a positive outlook on everything, you are not going to get there. If you're negative about, you don't want to work out, you don't want to eat your food, you don't want to miss out on events, you don't want to sacrifice things, then maybe competing is not for you, because this is a very selfish sport where you've got to do things that are not comfortable to you in order to reach your goal. So you have to want to do them. You have to want to win. You have to want to change. So you have to have a positive outlook going into this in order to reach your goals.
Yeah, and you have to really get comfortable with being uncomfortable, because prep is going to be uncomfortable. I mean, you're going to have days.
Entire time.
Yeah, you're going to have days where you're just like so fatigued and everything. You're going to question yourself, like, why am I doing this to myself, etc. But the main thing is you have to make sacrifices. You have to stay dedicated, and you have to understand those people that you're going to be standing on stage with. They're doing this. They're going through the same thing you're going through, and chances are, if you're have a negative attitude and everything, chances are you're not going to do well. You're not going to get the results that you want. So just like she said, try to stay positive and just keep moving forward.
Well, I've actually worked with some clients that never told me about any pre-existing health conditions or medications. These need to be brought to attention before you even sign up, because your coach needs to know exactly what you need, or if this is even a good idea for you to compete at all. And if you have a good coach, they should be able to tell you this right up front. Agreed?
Agree 100%.
Holy crap. I literally, I've been there, and I was just like, you didn't tell me you had asthma? Like, you know what I mean? And just simple things like that, or blood pressure and heart conditions and things like that. Those things need to be brought up like before, like in the first meeting.
Yeah.
That
for sure.
When I actually first got into the industry and I was competing and stuff, I would find myself not only like making excuses for little tiny things, and it was delaying my progress significantly, because then when I stopped making excuses, everything just started really rolling in. You know what I mean? There was nothing left. Every rock was turned. But I was being dishonest with myself. So going into this industry, I was a flexible dieter, and sometimes I would log my food, and then I would take like an extra bite on the side, like it didn't count or something like that. You know what I mean? Or like I would, like if I put like 25 minutes of cardio and I did like 25 or 27 or something like that, or like 22 minutes of cardio or something, just something that, but logged it in my head as like, oh yeah, I did the full time or whatever. Like you have to be honest with yourself, because if you're not doing something continuously and consecutively, you're not going to get to your goal. So doing the up and down and the lying to yourself and not being honest with your logging, not being honest with yourself, like, did you give your all that day? Okay, no, then maybe you've got to try better the next day. That'll hold you back really easily. And that's why I do intensity checks with my girls. Sometimes I'll, if they're from a long distance, I'll have them send me videos just to make sure that they're training at their maximum capacity that they can.
I definitely think that is a big problem with just people in general as far as their training goes. A lot of people that I see and a lot of people that I worked with, they're more focused on moving the point the weight from point A to B rather than actually filling the target muscle. So always try to stress to my clients that you want to not worry about the weight, focus on form and focus on contracting that target muscle, because if you're not contracting the target muscle, you're not going to get the type of development that you need in order to have a physique to step on stage.
And you can tell, like, when you can tell, like, within check-ins, like, if you have clients that are supposed to be lifting heavy, their blood volume and their muscle would be filling their muscle out.
Right.
So if they're like really, if they're flat or they're flabby or and they're still getting a good amount of food and their muscles aren't full, you can just tell that they're not training as hard as they possibly could.
Yeah. So training intensity is key off season and pre-contest. I like to keep training consistency or training intensity consistently. Right.
We're gonna get it. Ooh, timing was wrong. Okay, so I wouldn't suggest. Here's y'all know I'm super upfront with you guys. Like, if y'all are trying to conceive and have a baby, competition prep probably is not the best idea. Okay, here's one. Or if you've got, say your kids are just starting school and there's a lot of stuff going on, doing your very first prep is going to be a struggle. So if you can't balance all that together, maybe the timing is just not correct. Get your kids to school, get them started, and then start your prep. When you have time to do your grocery shopping and your meal prep and get your gym membership and all that, especially first prep, because the first prep is a wild experience. So timing, it can be wrong. Or say, finances. If you don't have the money, do not compete because it is so expensive.
Everything adds up. It's
Coach, suit, entry fees, NPC card, and traveling. Everything adds up really, really quick. You don't realize. Even if you're borrowing stuff from people, you're still going to get slapped with a lot of fees. So, finance is a big one. Actually, I've had clients that say I can't afford the show's coming up and I can't get the suit, yada yada yada.
Yeah, and I think too. Just your whole mindset has to be there. If you have self-doubt, if you don't believe in yourself that you can actually do this, if you, like she was saying earlier, have a negative attitude towards everything, that's huge. I mean, then the timing is going to be off. Like, get everything mentally, get yourself mentally in a better place before you start prep, because you want to be in the best possible mental space going into something like that, because it's definitely hard.
And life-changing.
Yeah, for sure.
Very life-changing, and it's addicting, and 99% of us come back for more. So, all right. Well, that's all we have for today. I hope you guys did pick up a lot of stuff that we said. Because it's all very, very important. We don't want you to fail in your prep. We don't want your prep to be a bad experience. So, we wanted to share all this with you. If you do have any more questions, we would both be happy to answer them for you. So you can drop them in the comments, or you can direct message us. You can even message one of us. On www.officialteamcasey.com. We'll take care of you there as well. I guess that's it.
Yeah, thanks for watching, and like she said, let us know if you have any questions, and we will probably be doing more content together. So.
Yeah. Oh, I was chewing gum this whole time. Well,
bye.
like a little kid show.